This is
Hey.
Brendan Prost. Hello, Brendan. How are you?
Not too bad. How you guys doing?
We're doing very well. And Brendan is the writer, director, and producer of the short film Main Squeeze, which is a queer Christmas comedy, and we both just saw it and loved it, and we're laughing. Brendan, tell us a little bit about this story.
Well, it's basically about a couple in an open relationship whose holiday slumber is shattered by the arrival of a flying dildo, which signals the arrival of one of their secondary partners, who is on a mission to establish her romantic dominance. She is no longer content to be the secondary partner, and it is lubricated by what we imagine to be many rum and eggnogs. So this is a very volatile Christmas situation that kind of blows up for this couple in this open relationship.
Oh, that is a really interesting opening and way to describe the film. I got to say that when that dildo went flying through the window.
Oh my god!
Very funny moment. Great.
Any of this based on personal experience?
Well, like I definitely have been in enough like situations like this and have them ruptured and like kind of interrupted by very surprising and like suddenly volatile emotional things, and I thought like a dildo flying through a window was like the best encapsulation of what that is like. So I don't know if that resonated with you, but that's where I went.
It definitely did.
There was an audible snort from this side.
Yeah. So this film has its world premiere on Monday at the Vancouver International Film Festival. So it's September 30th at 9:30 p.m. and it's part of the shorts program To Live in Infamy. And I was really just thinking like, hey, it's part of a series of short films that people are going to be watching, and you're going to really expose regular audiences to some non-traditional relationships.
Yeah, it's absolutely true. It's really exciting, like to be screening, like having the world premiere of the movie at VIFF, which is not like obviously a queer film festival, and in a program that is not like dedicated to like stories necessarily about relationships or about sex or about like poly folks or anything like that. It's a very eclectic and like really well curated program, and there's something really joyful about like delighting and like really surprising an audience. Like we're in there with like the new Chloe Robichaux short, which was at Cannes, I think, and like I just take a lot of great joy and pleasure in like I think like surprising people and also bringing like a great like queer story to a mainstream audience like at VIFF. So. Yeah,
and we actually had an interview with you last year about this time for your film Loretta's Flowers, which also I think it premiered at VIFF as well, and it was another queer character drama. Why are queer stories in the popular media important to you?
Like, I'm really interested in stories about bi and pan women because I'm really interested in like the challenge of like emotionally like knowing oneself and where one's desires and where one's longing is, and especially like in this particular film in Main Squeeze, about like the challenge of being like torn between two very different but equally authentic parts of the self. In our story, like Kiersey is a bi woman in a hetero relationship, but who is like in a very meaningful relationship with a woman outside the context of her primary relationship, and the way that she's being kind of like torn by that additional relationship. And that's just something like that I really identify with, like the challenge of trying to reconcile two equally authentic but very like conflicting parts of the self, and the way that they can kind of pull you in different directions, really make you question who you are. And like for me, it's about like this great challenge of like, how do I know myself and what I really want and what I really love and who I really love and what that love means. I think like I think like obviously for queer audiences especially, but I think for everybody like at this like emotional like contemporary moment, like the challenge of knowing oneself and like being present and understanding like what we need and what we want is really hard. And I think like for bi and like pan women, acutely, it really manifests itself from my peers. It's something I observed like directly myself and have experienced myself, even though obviously that's not an experience I understand like immediately. I really have an emotional way into that, so that's kind of where that comes from.
No, that's very interesting, and one of the I guess descriptors that you'd had in the blurb about the film was it was described as an ethical, non-monogamous relationship. What is meant by that?
I think like for me, like in cinema, like often open relationships or polyamorous relationships are imagined as a source for like conflict and disruption and like problem. And I was really interested in making a film that was about a really healthy open relationship between like two consenting people that was still like fraught with challenge. Like it's not easy to be in an open relationship, and it has like contours to it that are not like a conventional monogamous relationship. But I really wanted to make something that was about like the resilience that it takes to maintain a loving relationship in an open context. And it was important, I think, just like, in describing the movie to people, to describe it that way, because like I think for these characters, it's not cavalier and it's not casual. It's something very like thoughtful and deliberate. Even though it introduces problems to their love and their relationship, it's something that they've entered into thoughtfully and with consent, and that's something that's ultimately that is good for both of them.
I love that.
That's kind of what that means.
I absolutely love that it's not veiled as like not at all like a taboo thing or whatsoever. It was dealt with so tactfully and so normally. It was wonderful to see. And I have to say, I think my favorite part too is the fact that it's a comedy, which a lot of the times in like in queer media, you don't see a lot of, comedy in that. It's always dramas and it's always sad and it's tragic. We need more queer comedies. The comedy is my favorite genre. I'm just pandering to myself.
No, I have a great friend and peer in Vancouver that y'all might know named Jason Carman, and he talks often about how important it is to have like positive and like really fun queer representations in media, and then it's really important to have stories about like the things that are really difficult and really dramatic and really high stakes. But I think it's also really important to treat certain things with a certain degree of like levity and fun and warmth. So I think that's definitely what I wanted to inject and what I wanted to offer. Yeah.
Yeah, it's. I know Jason actually, and the last time I saw him was just a couple of weeks ago. We actually had a bit of a debate after a couple of drinks about sad endings and happy endings in queer films. So he's actually going to be coming on the show in a few weeks' time, and we'll have that discussion on air.
Should have seen his reaction when you said his name. Glenn just like raised his hands in the air, just went yes.
Yeah. So Jason's film Lions in Waiting, I think, is one of the ones that I remember that Jason has done. So another good queer story, a queer short film out of right here in Vancouver as well.
Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's great. I think a lot of him. I'm actually spending time with him in Seattle tomorrow. We both have films screening in Seattle.
Oh, nice. So I know that. Main Squeeze is showing on this coming Monday, but where else can people catch your film?
It's also playing the following Monday at BIFF, which is the October 7th, also at the International Village. But I always encourage folks, like, they go to my website, which is brendanprost.com, and they see Main Squeeze or Lorez Flowers or any film that they're interested in. You can send me an email or a message on any platform that's intuitive to you. I'm happy to send you an online screener. There's a lot of work that I just can't post online, but I want people to watch it. So if you get in touch with me, I will share it with you. And Main Squeeze is just beginning its festival run, so we hope to have a U.S. premiere very soon. We don't have the details of that quite yet. and we look forward to playing a bunch of queer film festivals very soon as well, with the support of the Canadian Filmmakers Media Distribution Center, who have recently acquired the movie, which is awesome.
Nice. That is awesome. That is awesome. What are some of the other? Is there any other queer content at the film festival that you're looking forward to, or just in general that you'd like to mention to our listeners?
Absolutely. I think I was just reading before I got on the phone with you that Kathleen's movie and The Body Remembers When the World Broke Open, which opened at TIFF, or rather opened at Berlin and then played at TIFF recently. It was just acquired by Ava DuVernay's company. I cannot stress, like, that's a Vancouver movie. I cannot stress how important it is for people to check out that film. It's like a great Indigenous story set in Vancouver about Indigenous women and class difference. Like, that is like a vital story that I personally cannot wait to watch. I hope everybody gets a chance to check that out. But I also hope, people in Vancouver spend their time checking out some of the amazing shorts programs too. There's so much great feature stuff, but I know so many wonderful peers, Suzanne Friesen, Kellen Jackson, so many of my peers have so much great short work playing. I hope they get a chance to check out some short programs as well. But Body Remembers is very high on my list.
Yeah, the Body Remembers When the World Broke Open is it's actually standby. Like the tickets have gone real fast at VIF, but there'll definitely
look at that.
More opportunities to see it. If you're one of those who likes to go line up for things, that's the way you'll get in to see that film.
Yeah, it's. I'm not surprised it's in that demand, but Ava DuVernay's company is going to be distributing it. There will be another theatrical opportunity, surely. So it's a movie to keep your eye on. Perfect.
All right. Well, thank you very much for the time, Brendan, and we're really looking forward to more audiences seeing your short film, Main Squeeze.
Hey, I really appreciate you guys giving a little attention to our small little movie. Really appreciate the extra attention and the love. It was great to speak with both of you.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Brendan.
Thank you.
Have a great day, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
And that was Brendan Prost, who is the writer, director, and producer of the film Main Squeeze, the Christmas queer comedy.
Listen, if any of you guys have 15 minutes to spare, I would recommend watching it. Give Brendan a shout so he can send it to you. It was so enjoyable.
Yeah, it was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun. There was an intimacy that seemed very natural. I enjoyed the characters as just like people. They seemed very normal people, and it was wonderful to see.
Normal. Very normal.
Very normal.
That was awesome.